a 13-match card with 3 women's matches. That's some kind of progress. I'm John Retlin with my review of AEW Dark, and at nearly 2 hours, though this was a bit long, but they probably made it a supersized edition due to the fact that the NBA playoffs have preempted Dynamite from its Wednesday slot again, but it's not going to be on Saturday, it's going to be on Thursday, and since I work late Thursdays, that review will be up sometime early Friday morning, and we'll see how it compares to last week's episode, because I got quite a bit of hate for my opinions in my review. I stand by everything I said, but you know what? There was a lot of cool people that responded, and I guess I just angered some people just with my opinions. That doesn't mean that anybody that enjoyed the episode was wrong. I just didn't enjoy it. That's really what it comes down to. I've got some other AEW content lined up just really quickly about what I think about the roster as a whole and about the product, so look forward to those. But anyway, let's get right on into a 13-match card. Baker's Dozen edition here. Shivani, Taz, and Veda Scott on commentary. We had Storm Thomas and Dimitri Jackson versus the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy. I don't like Chuck Taylor. I just don't. Him and Trent are a fine team, but I just don't really care for Chuck. Dimitri has a good look. I'd like to see, what else he can do, maybe in a singles role. And nothing against Storm Thomas. I just didn't really get to see much from him here. And a double, pile driver gets the victory 1, 2, 3. So, of course, the Best Friends win. They're showing a little more aggression, even though they're doing the hugging. They're upset about Trent's mom's van being destroyed by Santana and Ortiz. And don't worry, we get a little bit more of that story a little bit later. We then get Jesse Sorensen versus Sean Spears with Tully. Jesse got in some shots and chops and actually did some pretty good shit here, but it did go a bit long. That's my only issue with this show is at 2 hours, I'm glad they gave, some of these talents a chance to shine. They still could have cut a few of these matches by a couple minutes, and I don't think it would have been a miss. Yes, at 13 matches, you want things to, you want some good stories to be told, and you want to give people a chance to shine, but yeah, a little bit long. But yeah, we get the C4 for 3. Jesse's neck did get targeted because he had the previously injured neck, from his run in Impact Wrestling. And yeah, C4 for 3, and then the loaded glove because, of course, Tully's doing that. Tully's, having Sean Spears do that with his glove, kind of, passing along the tradition. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I still think Sean Spears is about peak, though. He's pretty much where he is, right? He's going to stay at. And then we get a lot of plugs for All Out. We then get Red Velvet versus Mel. Red Melvet, if you will. I shouldn't be proud of that, but I am. Red Velvet has a good look. I like Mel. I really like Mel. I hope she gets featured more. Red Velvet got some shots in. She has a really good dance background. She's got some good flexibility. Would like to see more of what she can do in the ring. But Mel, this is a showcase for her. Choke bomb, 1, 2, 3. So, first women's match out of the way. We then get D3 versus Lance Archer. Lance Archer, easy for me to say, with Jake Roberts. And then Archer brings out some huge guy. I don't have a clue who this guy was, but he beat the shit out of him. And even though D3 got a few, shots in, there was a choke slam, and then even when he tried a moonsault, he missed it because Archer just moved out of the way, pulling the old Samoa Joe thing from his time in Impact Wrestling, well, in TNA, which is now Impact Wrestling, and then he hits the Blackout NEBD Claw, and there we go. I like Lance Archer, and I hope that they feature him a little bit more. Get him in the title picture. I mean, I don't know if you could team him up with anybody, but maybe build him up to eventually take the TNT Championship from somebody. I don't think him versus Brody Lee would necessarily be, it wouldn't be bad. I just don't think it would be great, especially since you got two monsters going at each other. But maybe eventually he could, compete for that, or just have him compete against Moxley. I mean, even if Moxley would end up having to beat him, at least it would be a good, just do something better with Archer is what I'm trying to say. These squash matches are good, but I like Archer, and I want to see him featured better. So we then get Luther and Pentago versus Cutler and Peter Avalon, the Initiative, with Leva Bates. And I don't get the thing with Luther, the Japanese deathmatch legend. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it with Luther. I don't get why he screams. I don't get why he's there. Apparently he's friends with Jericho. Cool, whatever. I don't think he's a bad guy. I just don't get the character. I don't get why he's there. Serpentico, he's fine. He actually has a pretty good look. This is the best Cutler has looked in a while. He actually had some really good moves. And him and Avalon are working well together. But Avalon tries to hit with the book. Oh no, he hits Cutler. Oh no, he hits him with the book. The book that weighed like about, maybe half a pound. That must have really hurt him. And then eventually he gets pinned after double knees from Pentago, and then Luther pins him. And also Avalon got laid out with a powerbomb on the outside by Luther before that. So yeah, the Initiative loses. They're losing to Luther and Serpentico. I mean, and nothing against Serpentico, plenty against Luther because I don't get it. They might as well just split up the team. They can't get their win against two guys that aren't featured all that much. I just don't get it. Nyla Rose versus Kylan King. I like Kylan King. I think she's very statuesque and has a good look. Nyla Rose, been a fan of hers since, pretty much the first couple matches I've seen of her. She has vastly improved. Vicky Guerrero was also there for what she's worth, which isn't much of anything. This pairing is not working for me. I know it's just been about a month. It's not working for me. It's really fucking not. King actually did at one point hit a variation of a Samoan drop, which was very impressive, showing off her strength. But Nyla would eventually hit the Beast Bomb after Vicky interfered, and then 1, 2, 3. And then Vicky says, "We're known as the Vicious Vixens." Okay, just threw up my mouth a little bit. Thanks, Vicky. Has nothing against Nyla, just Vicky. No, I don't. Vicky's trying to do the same damn thing that she did in WWE, and it didn't really work then, at least in my opinion. But the start of that promo, I just like a victory. Good wording right there. So then Billy and Austin Gunn versus Baron Black and Frank Stone. Baron and Frank actually weren't all that bad in this. Frank Stone was in a match, I believe, last week on Dark. He has a good look. Taz hates the Guns. Typical stuff here. And, Baron and Frank really aren't that bad. I'd like to see more of what they can do in the coming weeks. And hip toss neck breaker pins Baron. There we go. Penelope Ford versus Heather Monroe. Heather Monroe recently featured against Hikaru Shida. At one point, Kip busts out the double leaf blower. I don't know why this is his thing. I have no idea. I like both, and the match was decent. I mean, it wasn't too long. Penelope has improved, and I like Heather Monroe. Got to see her live at the last indie show I went to, and I think she's very good in the ring. And hopefully they feature her a little bit more. Fisherman's Bridge, 1, 2, 3, Penelope Ford getting the victory, and it was a nice little match. We then get Santana and Ortiz versus the Metro Brothers, who are all about cool. Grease is the word. They basically reminded me of Deuce and Domino, just with vastly less interesting music. Or they were greasers. Maybe they're fans of Grease. Maybe they're fans of Grease too, which might explain why they were on the losing end here. That's mean. I'm sure they're nice people, and maybe they can be featured here a little bit more. On Dark and stuff like that, and maybe they could be signed. They don't have a bad look. It just seems, like they're going to have to tweak it just a little bit, because it reminds me too much of stuff I've seen before. But powerbomb kick to the face, and they get pinned. Okay, was what it was. I'm not really sold on Santana and Ortiz. Santana, I think, could be a very good breakout single star. Ortiz is fine. The over-animated stuff gets to me just a little bit, but it is what it is. We then get the Best Friends attacking because of the whole van thing, and then we get a trash can involved, suplex on trash can. They're going to have a street fight, either on Dynamite or at All Out. I'm actually not sure. Ricky Starks versus Sean Dean. Ricky is great. Met him a couple times at indie shows, but really, he is great. Was great in the NWA as a TV champion for a little bit. Sean is also very good. Sean Dean has been featured a lot. I would like to see him get a contract and get featured a little bit more, get some quality wins at some point. He is a very good athlete. Nice back and forth at first. Dean hitting what was called the Dean DT, at least that's what I'm calling it because I can English. And then the Bro Shambo, I believe is what it's called. 1, 2, 3. Ricky gets the victory. Not that bad. Jake Hager versus Marco Stunt. Why? Why did this happen? Why is Marco Stunt allowed to wrestle in the ring? It just doesn't. Nobody benefits from facing Marco. It's nothing against him as a person. It's just not good. And Hager's very uninteresting. He is more bland than I think anybody in wrestling not named Chase Owens. Which is really mean because Chase Owens is actually a pretty good athlete and pretty good in tag team wrestling. And choke for the win. Cool. All right, and then Hager's going to beat him up, and Luchasaurus is like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't take him. I love him. It's like the whole cops thing when the boyfriend gets taken away. Weird shit that I'm going on with here. But basically, Luchasaurus, no, he's just a kid. He's just a kid. He's just a boy. And then Hager hits him, and I guess we're going to get Hager versus Luchasaurus at some point. Hooray. I don't really care. I like Luchasaurus. I just don't care about Hager. Frankie Kazarian versus Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford. This is actually pretty good. Nice back and forth. I like Kip. I think Kip has a very good upside. Frankie, been a fan of him since his early days in Impact Wrestling. Got to meet him, Scorpio Sky, and Christopher Daniels at Defy Northwest Wrestling Show. Actually got this sweet shirt and got a picture with him. Really nice guys. Really, really fucking nice guys. But Frankie, guy moves smooth as silk. Really, really good. Kip is also really good and very young. But you can tell really has something. Really good with the heel work. Say an octopus at one point by him, and then reverse DDT, Scorpion Death Drop 1, 2, 3. Sunny Kiss and Janela versus Hybrid 2. I don't mind Evanson and Helico. I think Janela is fucking rotten. I do not understand why he was signed. This is a bad signing by them. He hasn't had one good match that I've seen. Now, if there are fans of Joey Janela and you like him, that's fine. I don't. Sunny Kiss, I think, is a very good athlete. I think he's got a ceiling as far as a mid-card talent, at least the way they're presenting him right now. But he hit a really nice stomp outside. He hit a brilliant 450. And then he got pinned with a, backslide bridge by Jack Evans. So if it hadn't been for Janela, this match actually would have been, pretty damn good. That being said, you had three guys trying to, bring it up while Janela kept bringing it down. So it was what it was. Not a bad episode of Dark. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.